This is Marcus Korva with Studio MMA and MMA Net, and we're here with Jeremy Horn, who just had a great win with DeMarcus Johnson. Congratulations, first of all.
Thank you.
And do you actually get in there spar with him?
Oh, absolutely. He kicks my ass every day.
Kicks your ass?
He's really, really talented. And when he's on, he is very hard to deal with.
Tonight in this fight, he threw a beautifully executed left uppercut. Was that something you've been working on? His opponent has his hands a little bit wider, and it looked like he looked very confident with his hands in there tonight.
Yeah, like I said, I mean, yeah, you know, I imagine most fighters suffer from this, but DeMarcus is the kind of guy he's very mental. When he comes into the gym and feels confident, he is fast and strong, and very few people can stand with him. You know, has a bad day in the UFC and it shows, but yeah, I mean, when he's on like that, he hits incredibly hard and he's incredibly fast.
Definitely hits hard, and great sportsmanship tonight as well when he had an opportunity to throw one more right hand and he actually didn't throw it because he realized his opponent was out. You have actually fought in Sweden. We're from Sweden. First of all, do you know how to say anything in Swedish?
No, sorry.
You fought for Superior Challenge in Stockholm. Had you been to Sweden before?
I had not. It was I didn't get to see a lot of it, but I had a lot of fun.
What's the difference fighting in the United States versus fighting overseas? You've been around the block, and not in a bad way.
You know, it wasn't not a lot of difference. I mean, obviously the crowd is still big fans of MMA, and the promotion was you know, well run, so it was pretty similar. Not a whole lot different.
You guys were upset with the result, and many people agree with you. And you put in a protest to have it overruled. Anything come out of that?
Well, they upheld the decision. You know, live and learn. I should have been a little more aggressive, and I should have made the fight more obvious. But yeah, I wasn't. Was a little disappointed with the judging at the fights. I mean, you know, the promotion was great. It was very professionally run. They treated me great. They don't have control over who the judges are, so I can't blame them. But again, you know, I have to hold myself responsible as well because I could have pushed a little harder and made it more obvious that I won.
It's becoming more and more obvious with the smaller countries and the sport of mixed martial arts growing all over the world that we don't have the luxury which you do in the United States, or we do in the United States with an athletic commission, and that seems to be the issue. We had the issue when we were in England with Frank Trigg. Any ideas of what should be done, and as a fighter as well, going into a fight when you're fighting in a country where you know that's not the case, and what are the options?
You know, well, there really aren't any. You know, I think the promotion did the best they can to keep everything even and fair, but judging is always going to be a little subjective. That's why it's important, I think, that a greater governing body, what's the word I'm looking for, assign the judges, so there's no, you know, there's no inconsistency, and they're going to get the same thing. Plus, obviously in the U.S., MMA's been around a little bit longer, so the judges are a little more experienced. You know, in Sweden, from what I understand, the judges were fairly new, and in a fight like the one I had with Tallis, it wasn't super fast paced. So I mean, the judges, it wasn't real obvious who won. So the judges need to be able to really pick out, you know, what swayed, you know, the fight, and less experienced judges have a harder time doing that.
Talking about experience, you are one of the most experienced mixed martial arts fighters in the world, for you that didn't know. And I think for a while you were the fighter with the most fights. Are you still? Do you know?
No, I don't think so. I've got about 150 now. I know.
Only that's it?
Yeah, I like to stay busy. Travis Fulton has around 300, I think. I don't know if anybody's ever going to catch him, but you know, he promotes his own shows, so it's a little easier to get some fights going that way as well. So yeah, but like I said, I like to stay busy.
And how do you manage to stay so busy? Injury free? Is it the way you train, or just go in even with it? A lot of people go in with some type of injury usually when you go into a fight, but how do you manage to stay so busy?
Well, partially my style. You know, I'm being more of a grappler. I usually am trying to take people down and choke them, so I don't get hit much. I think I'm pretty physically durable as well. I mean, I've been in some rough fights and really don't get too banged up ever. So a combination of the two. And definitely when I fight, you know, I hope the fans enjoy the fight, but my first concern is winning and not getting hurt, and then putting on a good show for the fans. You know, I always want them to enjoy it, but some guys they're willing to go out there and close their eyes and swing for the fences for the enjoyment of the fans, and I'm not. You know, I want to win. You know, so.
And it's an interesting topic, because in any other sport, you know, if you in the World Championships of soccer, or you're playing in the NFL, it's all about winning. Yet there's fighters such as GSP who has been very criticized for not trying to finish fights, just winning fights. What's your take on that?
It's really hard. I always think that when I'm in a fight, with the exception of my fight in Sweden, I think I'm pushing hard and I'm trying to win. I'm not being conservative, and I think it's wrong for people to be critical and say, well, he's not trying to finish the fight. And that's not true. He may not be taking big risks, but I guarantee, in any of those fights, if somebody were to dive in with a sloppy takedown and give him a guillotine, he's going to finish the fight. But, some guys are willing to take bold, crazy risks, and some people aren't. I certainly think people should be willing to step it up a little bit and take a little bit more risk, but to each his own. I can't really criticize people for winning fights.
Certain people, anyone in particular?
Well, obviously, St. Pierre's one of my favorites, but I've seen him in positions where I thought he could be a little more aggressive. But again, that's Monday morning quarterback, and everybody does that. And St. Pierre's one of my favorites to watch, so I certainly don't want to criticize him. But like I said, to each his own.
150 pro mixed martial art fights. What fight stands out the most to you?
It's hard to pick out one. I've had a lot of good ones. My fight with Forrest was pretty memorable. That was one of the few times where I felt like I actually was on, having a good night and really showed what I'm capable of. And then the very next fight in that tournament that night, I kind of was flat and lost a decision. So my fight with SIlva was pretty memorable. I hurt my leg really badly about 10 seconds into that fight. I pulled a groin muscle, so I was pretty crippled going through that fight, and I was able to hang in there and lose the decision, even though he beat me up pretty good. So those are a couple that stand out that mean something to me personally, but I'm sure there's a lot more if I thought about it.
And talk about SIlva, by many considered the top pound for pound fighter in the world. You fought him to a decision. You're known for being able to take a punch. But what is it about SIlva? What's the magic behind the Spider Silva?
Well, obviously he's very, very good, so that's a big part of it. But I think a big part of what makes him so successful is he's so confident that he creates this aura around him that people are scared to fight him. And when you go, well, they're maybe not scared, it's not the right word, but very apprehensive. They give him a little too much respect because they know, some of the weird things he does. They're like, at any minute he's going to kick me in the face, or he's going to do a backflip and knock me out. Or, they get so hyped up about what could happen that then he can just do whatever he feels like. I think Sonnen proved that point because he went right in there, he went after him, and he did great. And then you look at somebody like Okami, who has done amazing with other fighters. It was aggressive and strong and confident, and then he fought Silva, and he was really timid. I think he was just anticipating too much what Anderson could do, and it gave Anderson all the openings to do whatever he wanted.
A little bit of the Mike Tyson syndrome.
Yeah, very much so.
And Chael Sonnen is obviously the next in line, and like you said, he's very, very confident in there, and he did beat him up for 4 rounds and 4 minutes and 30 seconds. Who do you think will win that fight in the rematch?
That's a very, very tough fight. A lot of people are saying that Anderson had some hurt ribs going into that fight. A lot of people are saying maybe he wanted the fight to go that long so that he could prove Sonnen couldn't hurt him. You never know what's going on with that kind of stuff, but I don't know. If Sonnen can improve his ground game and make sure he pays a little more attention to submissions, I don't see why he couldn't do the exact same thing.
What's next for you in your career, in your long and how long are you going to continue fighting?
Like I said, I'm still physically healthy. I don't take a lot of damage when I fight, so I'm a little older now, but other than the age wear and tear, I'm just as healthy as I was when I started fighting, so I could keep fighting for a long time. But honestly, I've got a gym full of fighters now. I promote my own show. I'm traveling a lot doing seminars and things like that, so being able to take 8 weeks and train for a fight and set all that stuff on the shelf is kind of hard. A future Randy Couture, is that how long you plan on going on? Or? It'd be nice. Maybe I'll surpass him and be the guy that fought, well, God, I'd have to beat Skip Hall, fought into his 60s. So, but if my physical durability maintains the way it has been, there's no reason I couldn't fight for another 20 years. Assuming I'm good enough to keep up still, who knows?
I've actually was surprised to how obviously you have a lot of knowledge. You've been in this game for a very, very long time, but talking to you, this is actually one of the best interviews I've done, I think, and most fun interviews. You have so much knowledge. Commentating, perhaps?
Actually, yeah. I'm next week. I just got a call 2 days ago. I'm going to to Russia to do the commentary on the Fedor and Monson fight.
Really, for M1?
Yeah. I'm actually really excited. It's my first opportunity. I hope I don't fall on my face like an idiot. But yeah, so I guess they, Pat Miletich is a regular for the Showtime organization, and they wanted him, and he had other commitments, so he threw my name in there, and they jumped at the chance. So I'm really excited. I get to go get to try my hand behind the microphone. So
Have you been to Russia before?
I haven't. I'm actually really excited to go see that as well.
There've been some talks behind the scenes about M1, and it's been criticized somewhat. Vinny, we did an interview with him a couple of weeks ago, the light heavyweight champion, who openly says he does not want to fight for M1 anymore after the promoter was coaching his opponent, and it's been some talks about M1 behind the scenes. Is anything you heard? Is anything you're aware of?
I haven't really heard anything. I've heard their name around for a long time, and I know they've kind of had kind of an ebb and flow of success and buzz, but I haven't really heard anything like that. No.
And UFC, you said the next fight isn't in the UFC. Is the goal to get back into the UFC again?
It's hard to say. I love to fight, but if I was going to try to make a run back at the UFC, I would, like I said, I'd have to put a lot of other things on the shelf and really do that. So I don't know if that's really in my plans. I would like to. I'd love to. I mean, I still watch these fights, and I still think that if I had the time to actually put into a camp and get in good shape, I think I could jump in there and hold my own with anybody in the middleweight division.
Anyone in particular you would like to fight?
No, not really. Just whoever's across the ring, man. I just like punch people in the face.
Jeremy, thank you very much for a great interview. Thank you.
No problem. Thank you.